Hey friends, this is Maggie. Yes, I am talking to you from Panama City, Panama. I know, it's not Panama City, Florida. Ooh, no. Anyway, today is the 25th, and it marks 30 days since I packed up and left Florida for Panama. And some of you may be wondering, yes, I have retired to Panama. Am I going to be here forever? I don't know. Only God knows. So why would I choose to come to Panama and not stay in the States? As many of you know, I retired from my nursing career last May, a little bit earlier than I had planned. I wasn't even yet 65, but there were some issues with the job, and I was like, you know what? I can retire. If I wait to retire at 67 years and 8 months, I would have gotten like $200 more in Social Security. No biggie. So I decided to just take the plunge, and I did. It has been an adjustment. I have loved being retired. What I didn't expect, I was hoping that I would still be working, part-time, but that has not panned out. God knows why. Of course, if you know me, I always have my hands into different things, but nothing really has stuck. Nothing has panned out. So I was like, why am I sitting here waiting? So I want to tell you a couple of reasons why I chose Panama. I thought initially I was going to retire in Africa. I went to Africa in 2021, and unfortunately, I just didn't get that connection. And there were, some challenges that I felt that somebody my age to start over in a new country was going to be a bit more challenging for me. So I was not looking to come to Panama. The Panama Canal was on my bucket list because I love to travel. And I did some traveling when I sold my agency in the 2000s. And now that I retired, I felt like I needed to get back to exploring the world, especially after COVID. I had COVID, and once you've had COVID, you feel like, you know what, life is not, I didn't mean to turn off the AC. Life is not guaranteed that. Don't do that. Okay. That, a disease, a tropical disease or something could just, what is happening? Okay. That something can happen and, and it's not just disease. I mean, a car accident, anything can happen. So I started thinking, and being the go-getter and planner that I am, I felt that, I need to start thinking of what, if God grants me a few more years, how do I want to live those few years? Being in my house, in a gated community, it was very isolating, to tell the truth, and I loved solitude. I am an introvert, but the routine of you getting up, you don't have anywhere to go. I taught a class in the summer, and I love that. If I had stayed in the state, I would have loved to continue doing that. In fact, the dean, I called her or emailed her about something, and she said, "Let me know when you get back." And I said, "I sure will," because I really, truly enjoyed teaching those kids. But I was hoping to do some of that online, but that didn't pan out either. And I'm just one of those people. I try something. If it doesn't work out, I just go to plan B, plan C. I just keep it moving. So I started thinking, it's like, okay, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? How are you going to live your life? Now that you don't have an income coming, right? And it's not like I don't play the lotto. There's no chance I'm going to win the lottery, even though I meant to buy a ticket here and there, but I never stick to it. Discipline is not my strong suit. So I started thinking, what what happens when I get sick, which is what my brother and my sister and I, we talked about when my mom was getting older. It's like, be a planner, be proactive. In my career, I see too many times something happens to someone and then the children are like, what would mom want? What happened? Did she do that? I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't want to put that burden on the kids because they have their lives, and I personally don't feel like you can depend on your kids these days because life is too crazy. They have so much going on, and if I can plan my later years ahead of time and take control of that, that's what I should do, and that's what I've done. So a couple of reasons when I came to Panama, I don't know, was it before COVID? I think before COVID, I fell in love with the country, the food, the weather, the people are so nice, the infrastructure was there, and it was like, well, it could be a strong contender. Because after I visited Ghana and Rwanda, my spirit was not there. Even though I was thinking about some business ideas, but it wasn't for me. So I found out that healthcare in Panama is very affordable, and it is on par with what's happening in the state because my philosophy of health is not to remain alive, to stay alive at any cost. As a medical healthcare person, I do not want that. I think if God decides it's time to go, I do not want my kids or any family member to say, let's try this, and try to hang on to you for the next, oh, you can have 6 months. No, I don't want that, I thought in Africa, if anything happens to me, just put me on a barge and throw me in the sea or burn me or whatever. I just don't want any super extra whatever just to keep me here. For what? No, I don't want that. So healthcare was a biggie. The weather was good, and the cost of living was a little bit lower than the state. It's not totally cheap. I don't want anybody to think that unless you're going to live in a boonies somewhere, with the local people. So I thought that Panama checked a lot of the boxes, and then I came back two other times after the first time, and every time I felt stronger and stronger. And plus, I speak enough Spanish to get by, so it was gonna be good for me. In Ghana, you had to learn Tweed and local languages, and in Rwanda was even worse. You had to learn Kinyarwanda, which is something totally very difficult, and I was like, no. Although I know people there, they love it, and it's a beautiful city, beautiful country, just was not for me. So after last year, I started, when work didn't work out, I started planning my exit. So I came the last time and I applied for permanent residency as a retiree. And then when I came back this time, I got my residency card. I'm a permanent resident as a pensionada. They call that. That means retired. So I am legal here. They can't kick me out. And of course, this country is very welcoming to foreigners, especially people who are retired. They want you to come in here and spend your dollars, spend your money, spend your euros. Another thing with Panama is that the currency is the dollar. They have like the Balboa, which equals to the dollar 1-to-1. And you can pay in dollars or you can pay in Balboa, and it's a big banking center. A lot of countries, businesses house their money here, so they're very familiar with the dollar. So that was a plus. The weather looks like Florida, even though I hear that that rainy season can be, I can't wait for the rainy season that starts in April. But I've been here 30 days, guys. It has not rained once, which is really weird. I'm from Florida. We get showers, nothing here. The wind blows a little bit. I'm on the 12th floor of this apartment, which is very new to me. I've never stayed in a high-rise building. And when the wind blows, it's woo, 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 and the windows shake. It's like Panama, weather-wise, it's summer, December to April, and then the rainy season. But they say it really rains more towards like October, November, kind of like Florida. They don't have hurricanes, even though we have oceans on both sides, Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. They don't have hurricanes, which is a plus, but they do get some tremors, I hear, because they do have earthquakes in Costa Rica to the north, and Colombia is to the south. And they can feel tremors from the north. And even a few months ago, I heard that people felt a little shake here. After what's been in the news with Turkey and Syria, I have nothing to complain about, but I still think about it. If you get buried under rubble, that's a horrible way to go. But I thought the earthquake that hit Haiti was bad enough, but these poor people, and they're still having aftershocks. I just can't imagine what they're going through. I can't. So those are my reasons for choosing Panama. Cost of living, weather, I speak the language, and it's close enough to home. It's 2.5 to 2 hours and 50 minutes to get here from Orlando, so it's not a biggie. The people are so nice. They are very used to, I'm in the city, so they're very used to foreigners here. And I love the anonymity of being in this city, right? When I step out, people come across, some of them would acknowledge you, some don't, but they don't stare you down, or you don't get the vibe that they don't want you here, like I may get when I'm driving down the road in Florida. Sometimes I'm sitting in my car, and I keep my head straight. You can't even make eye contact with people because you don't know who's gonna carrying you out. Anyway, we don't have that level of stress here. People go about their business. Everybody, the local, they go and catch the bus. They're just about living. And on the weekend, everything shuts down. They just enjoy. It's la familia. They eat, they drink, they dance, and that's it. Now, you may not say it's a simple way of thinking, but you know what? I like the simple way of thinking. We are just too focused and stressed out in the United States. It's just way too much. So a lot of us who come here, we just come here to de-stress. Somebody posted that they don't have Karens here. I haven't heard of that. The crime rate is not what you're hearing in the States. Now, the United States being so big, and because everything is a biggie, big news, maybe that's the reason why we're hearing all that, but we don't, So my Spanish, like I said, I thought I was really good. I realize now, you're not that good, so you need help. So I have a course online, and then I keep the TV on. I remember when I first came to the United States, I could write English, but my ear, I needed to just get used to hearing it. So this is what I'm working on right now. So I love the anonymity. I love that it's a kind of a stress-free lifestyle. I love that people don't stare you down. You don't feel like you're not wanted, that you're hated, or they think you are subhuman like we do in the States. The infrastructure, the roads are pretty nice. I mean, they're not up to USA standard, but they're pretty nice. So I know in the interior they might have some unpaved roads, but I don't see that here. The food is amazing, but it's not that healthy. They have lots of fruits and vegetables, but vegetables, they're not very keen on like greens. So if you want greens, you have to really be intentional about that. They have the yuccas and plantains. Whew, patacones. That is my love, so I have to really be careful. The rice and peas and meats, I eat a lot of that. And in the morning, breakfast is big. Empanadas everywhere. In fact, next to my metro station, there's a little stand that says